What is up, everybody? Welcome to Late Night Live with Sean, brought to you by the Antisocial Network. Tonight, for this first little bit, I'm going to sit and talk to you guys about why I decided to do this, why I decided to start a live stream, and what is going to transpire in these so that you guys have a better idea of what's going on. So, first off, I wanted to bring something different to my channel, to my content than I normally do, right? So I'm typically very serious. Sometimes I'm funny, but I like to show a different side of me because I'm a pretty funny person. I'm pretty entertaining. I'm pretty engaging. And I like to have fun. And sometimes it beats down the mental health to always continue and be super fucking serious all the time. So this is going to be my space where I go ahead and I let loose a little bit. I cut loose. We get some more people on the on the show that I normally wouldn't put on the show, or that I get on the show that have way crazy lives and they do crazy shit. Sometimes it'll be a podcaster, sometimes it'll be comedians, other times it might be mid-level celebrities. Who knows? We'll figure it the fuck out when we get there. But also, we're going to be going live on Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Friday nights. Every night there should be a new guest, or we'll have return guests with newer guests coming in. So it's going to be a whole lot of fucking fun. It's going to be a ride. It's going to be an adventure. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things. Like tonight, you're going to get to meet a comedian, a good friend of mine. She's also head of the Mentally Kill Project, which is a project that I kind of partner with and I help out with a little bit. Great human being, amazing human being, and I cannot wait to have her on. Right now, currently, she's away from her computer, so she cannot jump on. Before we get into it, if you guys do want to go and you guys want to support the channel, whether it's this or whether it's my sitting with Sean or whether it's my sitting with Sean extraordinary, then go over, like, subscribe, comment. I will love it. Share the video because that's how you guys will be able to see more of my content and more of my content will become relevant. Also, I have the Patreon. If you guys go to patreon.com/sitting with Sean, I have 3 tier levels there, and you guys will be able to donate if you want, and that will help me immensely. I'll be able to get a new microphone. I'll be able to get a better chair than I have now because it fucking sucks. It'll also help me with my time that I'm spending with people and engaging people and talking to people. So with that, where I see this going, I see this we're going to have a fucking blast. It's going to be a roll. It's going to be crazy. I could be here. I'm in downstairs in my dad's music room / my room because I moved, right? I'm down in West Virginia now. So I'm down in my dad's basement. You never know. I could be upstairs in the fucking living room. I could be outside when it's in the summertime. You never know. When I do get a place, I'm going to be obviously in a new setting. We're going to set up a studio. But right now I got to work with what I got. And so this is what I got, and I'm having a good time doing it. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life as far as like what has happened in my life. I'm not going to go into detail, but life has changed for me just a little bit. So I moved from Alaska. Some life events happened. I moved from Alaska, and now I'm here. And what's going on, Lee? Thanks for joining in. I appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out. Some life events happened, and those life events were pretty catastrophic to me. It's the first time in my adult life that I've ever suffered true heartbreak. It's the first time in my life that I have ever had panic attacks, and it was the first time in my life that I have ever forced myself to get better and to maintain my program. So I'm still sober, guys, and that's what matters. But also, it's the first time that I've taken my shit into my hands, and I said, I need to create a better life for myself. Andrew needs some prayers. Okay. All right. Gotcha. Well, I'm going to keep them in my thoughts and in my prayers. And I'm always a message away, Lee. Thank you. But, you know, it's the first time that I took my life into my own hands, and I said, it's time to fucking do something with it. So in that time of doing something with it, this is where I am. So now I'm gonna introduce my guest, Christiane Kanooble, fucking the hoe on the go. She is awesome. Thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Man, I am super fucking excited. You're my first guest on this, man.
You had to pick the hottest person. I get it.
I just said, hey, who wants to jump on it? And you're like, I jump on a lot of things. So I was
Absolutely. Yep.
like, fuck it, who better?
Yeah, I'm making a killing on Unfiltered, I will say, too.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm in the 300s now.
You're in the 3 subs?
No. Earnings. I've only had it for a week.
Fucking
And I don't post nudes on there. So, I mean, that's a lot for somebody who doesn't post nudes.
That is a lot. That is a fuckload of money. So, do you wanna tell us about give a formal introduction of yourself?
Sure. So I am not some hoe or a hoe. I am the hoe on the go. I am also an author. I am a poet. I am a mom, or MILF, I should say. I'm the throat goat in my area, comedian, and basically one woman, powerhouse, honestly. There's not much I don't do. So I'm not even going to keep listing shit because there's at least 6 more things. And it's already just gets to be too much. But I have one book that is published called the Hoe Handbook, but I recently took it out to rework it to not be as toxic because, as I've learned recently with my healing journey mentally, that I was very toxic in my 20s when I wrote that book. One bald guy did me dirty, and there was like a 4-page whole expose on how all bald men are trash. And I was like, this is not fair.
I was bald at one point in my life.
Yeah. See, so you would have been like a monster to anybody who read it. Yes, throat goat. That is a real thing.
Lee said throat goat.
I just really hope one day, when they inevitably make a statue of me, that they make the throat a glory hole so it can be the gift that keeps on giving. And they better paint the throat gold. I'm putting it in my will.
That is going to be on your goddamn tombstone.
It's already in my will. It's already in a will. No, I'm kidding. I'm about to fix it, though. I do have a will. Yeah. I'm about to fix it.
So you're from Philly, yeah?
Yes.
Dude, I have friends from Philly, man. What is it like living in Philly? Especially now that the Eagles are going to goddamn Super Bowl.
First of all, everybody acts a fool no matter what for the Eagles, but Philly is home of where back shots to gunshots is a love story. That is Philly. Home of the John, Whiz Wit, nobody ever knows what we're talking about. Yeah, people that, and it's always sunny is always affiliated with Philadelphia. Yeah. It's always sunny. Didn't really have a lot to do with Philadelphia, No, yeah, from what I've seen, I can't really watch many of those episodes because the blonde chick kind of gets on my nerves after a while. Yeah, it's her. I don't know if it's her voice or just the way she acts. I can't after a while. After maybe one episode, I'm like, yep, that's enough for that. Click.
That show had me dying. I fucking love that show. There was an episode where they sang "The Nightman," and that's my anthem.
It is a funny show. It's just not something I can binge watch. But I also don't watch TV, so.
Yeah, very true, very true. So what inspired you to be a comedian? Because that's not, I mean, you don't normally meet people that are like, oh, shit, I'm a comedian and actually be funny. You're pretty goddamn funny.
Thank you. I like to think so, too. Honestly, I never thought of myself. I never really thought of myself as a comedian. I've always been a storyteller. The way that I act on stage, that is who I am. This is just literally me. Mentally ill, obviously, all comedians are, but it's like a rite of passage. But it was 3 years ago, actually, I think yesterday or the day before was my 3-year anniversary on stage, because I had reached out to somebody that I knew when I was, a lot younger. And I was like, we just started getting back in touch. And he was like, yeah, I have a comedy show on Wednesdays. It's an open mic. You should come out. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Because I'm kind of person I have to absolutely destroy at something the first time I do it, or I will never touch it again. And I did anyway. I did absolutely destroy that stage. They were not ready for this. And yeah, I had a lot of friends come out to support me. My family was very supportive. And then, it's been growing from there. Now I have my own monthly comedy show every second Saturday in Philly, and still getting booked and busy. So
Nice. And you also help promote other shows too.
well, I mean, I share other people's flyers. I feel like that should be a standard for comedy, but Philly comedy is really cliquey, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I've never done well with cliquey because I'm not a clique style person. I can fit in any group. I blend. That's what I do. But I don't blend in different groups. That's not how I work. Like I blend different social situations, sure. But groups,
Yeah.
I'm not affiliated with anybody. I've had a few people reach out like, you should join our comedy crew. No, that's okay. I'm good. My name's already trademarked, actually. So,
Is it?
yeah, I trademarked before I even started comedy.
That is fucking awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah, well, I trademarked it because, and actually now that I have an LLC around it, I never really had to, but I mostly did it, one, because I know my rights. I didn't want people to steal my content, but also number two, my mom made up Kanooble last name. My mom made that up. So I wanted to protect it because I used it as a stage name. So
yeah, dude, absolutely. That's awesome. Your mom came up with that name?
Yeah, she used to call me Stella Kanooble, and I called her Flirty Gertie Kanooble.
That's fucking awesome.
And actually, my best friend on Facebook, her name is still Petunia Kanooble on Facebook. There's a Harriet Kanooble still on Facebook. It's a good friend of mine. I think that's it. I think that's all the Kanoobles that are on social media wise. There are many more Kanoobles. They're just not publicly labeled as such.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have a few names from when I was a kid, but they're very derogatory, not loving.
Well, mine were like my mom calls me Pookie Bear. That's my nickname. Yeah. So Stella came from, we had a neighbor in our family home. We actually just sold that home, I think, a year or so ago, but it had been in our family since 1941, maybe. Wow. And the lady who lived next door had lived there like literally the entire time up until maybe a couple years before we sold it. She finally died. But she was like deaf. So whenever her kids came by, they'd go, Stella, throughout the house. And my grandfather would do it. He'd yell it like across, because they're baby doll style houses. So he could yell out the window, be like, Stella! And she'd like yell back. So it was like it was like an ongoing thing. So my mom used to call me Stella because I'm loud as fuck.
Yeah, when you think of Stella, you think of somebody loud.
You know, when I hear the name Stella, I think of like at least 65-year-old bingo lady. Like that's what I think of. She's
got to have that raspy ass smoker's voice too.
Yes, and her best friend's name is Pearl. They wear blouses. They don't wear shirts. They wear blouses. Okay, yeah. Like that's who they are.
She's like, "Come on, Pearl, let's go."
Yep.
We gotta go play bingo.
And she smokes Virginia Slims.
Dude, yes.
The fucking like 120s. You ever smoke one of them, man?
No.
I have. And it's. Ugh.
I think the biggest cigarette I had was like the Cowboy Killer 100s, and that's about it.
So I had one. I think I got a pack of them before, and I don't remember why. You know, drugs are bad, kids. Okay, but
don't do drugs.
I used to smoke a lot of weed, but I remember smoking it, and I remember because they're very long, but they're also very like tiny around. Yeah. So it's the same amount of tobacco as a regular cigarette, but I guess they're meant to fit in the cigarette holders better for older ladies. And I am a smoker. I am going to say that, but I have really thought about getting one of them cigarette holders. That is fancy. You know, you walk up to a group of people outside smoking. You pull out the little clip. They'll look at you like crazy, or they'll think you have money, which is even better. And
that's Audrey Hepburn level.
Yes, when people think you have money, they start giving you free shit. Write that down.
Yeah, you're not wrong. When is an experience where you've experienced that? I need that. Have you ever had an experience where that happened, where people assumed you had money and then just automatically started giving you shit? Yep.
Yeah. So I actually, for my birthday one year, a friend of mine, he flies planes. He took me on a private plane ride. We were supposed to go from PA to Maine to get lobster for lunch and then come back. But it was really bad weather up north, so we ended up going to Virginia instead. Fine, whatever. We went to like Colonial Virginia or whatever. Flew down there. It was a little 2-seater plane too. It was really cool. But we get off the plane, go in the airport, and like go into the car, and the guy who gave us the car had, I guess he was selling like merch or something like that, like t-shirts, like beanies and stuff, was selling stuff. And he's like, oh, here, have this. Can you wear this hat? Like, yeah, sure. Like, it was literally, there was no logo on it. It was literally just like a beanie. I was like, sure. I didn't wear the hat. Update. It was at summer. It was summertime. I was not wearing a hat. It was like early fall, I think, like late summer, early fall. It couldn't have been later than October. So,
jeez. Yeah, when people think that now that you say that, I have a story for that too. Fucking, I started back in my party days. I went to a club when I lived in Italy, and like it was a bunch of us, and we were all drinking, and we got invited into VIP by like the ambassador to Estonia's son.
Nice.
Like, and he was like, "Here, have vodka, have vodka, have vodka," and I'm like, "Dude, you shouldn't be feeding me this much, but I'm not going to deny it." Right.
Right.
And,
I don't do vodka, but
and then like 2 nights later, went to the same club. Same dude was in there. I was like, "I think I know you." He's like, "Yeah, come on, let's go to VIP." I was absolutely mind blown because this motherfucker was like, "Yep, I got you, homie."
Yeah, and especially when you're in like the entertainment industry, like I am, people will say like, "Hey, come out to my venue," and blah 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 blah, and I'll give you all this. I'll give you VIP for free and blah blah, because they just want you to post that you were there. So, like for example, it just left my Instagram. I'm actually very sad about it, and I'm trying to fix it. But I missed a day posting apparently when I scheduled my post for the month. I was trending on Instagram for a really long time, like more than 2 months, which I didn't even know was a thing, but it is. It's a thing, and it was kind of like anytime I posted something or anytime I went on Instagram, I had like 40 to 50 notifications because people were seeing my stuff more. My reach was like over 20,000. I have 1,000 Instagram followers. So I'm like, what is going on? But really all that trending means is that in your category, so for me, comedian, you have more interactions and more posts than the people who have the same amount of followers or in the same follower range as you with the same category.
Huh.
So now I need to figure out who to fuck. Who has
more than me? Who has more than me?
Oh, everything is a competition to me. It's the reason that I can't do 3-ways, because everything is a competition. Everything. And I will win. Like, I'm very competitive, and it gets sickening, honestly. Because it's like you didn't have to beat her that bad. Like, yes, the fuck I did. Fuck her. I will destroy her. You know?
I have to prove a point.
Exactly.
That's why I don't talk shit. I don't talk shit for specific reasons. One, because I don't want you to get your expectations up. And then 2, I want you to be like, man, that was fucking awesome. I know. I didn't tell you. That's why it was awesome.
I don't have to talk shit. People talk shit for me.
Yes.
It's the legacy. I literally only slobbed on 2 knobs to get throat goat status. And I was just like, bro, I'm pretty sure I was like 17 at the time. I don't even think I knew half of what I knew now. Does that even count? But the legend lives on, man. It lives on. And now that I actually had the throat goat, it's like, oh, okay, cool.
The legend of the TG.
They marketed it for me. It was free.
That's insane. All right. No, you're not insane. I've met plenty more crazy people consider my ex.
That's vindictive. That's different.
Yeah, that is. But anyways, we're not gonna get into that mudslide. We'll talk about you.
Sure.
So Hoe on the Go.
I've got a couple of those too.
Hoe on the Go. What is that all about? Where did that come from?
So Hoe on the Go is my podcast. It teaches people how to please and be pleasing through sexual freedom and self-empowerment, or sexual and self-empowerment, how I put it to shorten it. But it is based off my book, the Hoe Handbook. It gives people tips and tricks on basically how to not be a piece of shit to yourself or to other people. That's really it. And how to better please your partner. That's a real thing. A lot of people don't realize that really stems down to communication and seduction. I spent a lot of time in a sex club teaching classes on how to better please your partner. But during that time, and I would like to give a disclosure here that no, I was just not out slobbing random people's knobs. I actually didn't even touch the people that I taught these classes to because I didn't have to. All I had to do was guide them in the right direction. So most of what I did there was study people, their facial expressions, their body languages, how they acted in different sexual scenarios, BDSM style scenarios, single, gay, straight, relationship, married, poly, whatever, all of them. And I would take notes. And I think I have an example, but I had little notebooks like these. And I would fill them. This one's empty, but I would fill them full of notes.
Nice.
And when I filled out the notes, I'd drop it, put a note on the outside what that one was, because usually I'd bring a different one each class.
Yeah.
And then I'd add them to a bigger document, and then shred them so nobody else could get the information. But by doing that, I really compiled like basically the go-to guide on how to be single, how to be in a relationship, how not to be wet sock, like how to not channel wet sock energy. There's a lot of that going around. But mostly how to like just be confident in what you are and who you are and what you do and how you do it.
Okay. Where can I find your content?
So I just moved Hoe on the Go over to Patreon. So you would have to go to patreon.com/Hoe on the Go. All of the old seasons are up there, but season 3 actually drops on Thursday. But that one I am going to put public. It's the only episode for the 3rd season I will. And the reason being is because it's on human trafficking. And I feel like it's something that everybody should hear and not, have to subscribe for. Because I do have human trafficking survivors that came on and talked about their stories. So I feel like that's important.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've noticed in my journey, sexual journey, whatever, is that a lot of men don't pay attention to their women, to the women that they're with. They don't pay attention to the body movements. They don't pay attention to the facial expressions. They hear the words, but they don't feel them.
Here's the thing, and here's why. Men are logical creatures. Women are emotional creatures. I'm really sorry to hear that. I would love to talk to her if she's willing to chat, as a side note, but women are emotional and vindictive by nature. Men are logical by nature. The reason that it appears that men are not paying attention is because men are not reaching them on an emotional level. They're reaching them on a logical one. And women don't want that shit. We don't want that shit when we're feeling emotional. We want you to shut the fuck up and just listen to us being emotional. That's it. Men can't wrap their head around that. They can't.
Yeah.
Because they're like, no, if you're going to sit here and fucking bitch about it, here are 3 ways we can fix the problem. You've got 30 seconds to pick one. Period.
Absolutely. She said, yes, I'd love to get her story out there.
I'm happy to help. I could put it on all my platforms. Anyway, as somebody who just shared her story last year, it's hard to do that. As a side note, she may not be willing to, and that's totally okay. It took me a long time too. So I'm not a human trafficking victim, but I'm not a victim at all, to be honest. I'm a warrior at this point. But I was a survivor of something else. I did have a survivor episode for my season finale for season 2. And I had, me, obviously I'm a survivor. A fellow comedian of mine, he wasn't able to make it that day, but I do have an interview with him. He was shot, I believe it's 27 or 28 times. Ooh. And he really got into the nitty gritty. I love him because he's so raw and open about the struggles that he's gone through since then and what, his life has been like. And then I had another person who was picking up a hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker pulled out a shotgun and pointed at his face, and he knocked the gun down, shot him somewhere else instead, but survived, I mean, obviously just me, just surviving. Yeah. So, but it was really more, first of all, it was kind of emotional for me because I had wrote a poem called Guardrails right after my trauma. And I never shared it with anybody, but you can read it forward or backward. I write a lot of poetry. I'm actually in a book called 420 Haikus. A friend of mine, Mike Hoff, wrote this book, and I actually have a few signed copies left, but I have 3 pages of stoner haikus. I'm not sure what you mean by social media content, as far as I'm sure she'll explain, but anyway, I have 3 pages of poems in there. I've edited a few of his books too before he published them. I've got my book redropping in June for anybody wondering. You can't get the Hoe Handbook right now. I took it out of publication so that I could rewrite it and not be as toxic and actually teach you the right way because, for example, the 3-day block rule, that shit had to go. It had to go. It works.
What is the 3-day block rule?
Now keep in mind when I tell you this, that this is toxic, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it. but it works every time. So when you have a situation like mine and you are not necessarily promiscuous, but you keep your roster, for me, I am very no nonsense. If you do something that not necessarily pisses me off, but that crosses in part of our agreement, you're gone. Scoop, bye. I got 4 on the bench. You're nothing. Period. And I'll tell them as such because I'm a bitch and I'm kind of toxic a little bit still. I'll get there. I'm in therapy. We're working on it. Rome wasn't built this way, people.
You're not wrong.
When that would happen, or if maybe say like a one-night stand, because I did have those too, and they didn't have to sign an NDA because I didn't remember them half the time. I would literally, if they did something to bother me, block them. No, nothing said, just block them. Because anybody contacting someone repeatedly, I'd only block them for 3 days, and then I'd unblock them. Because anybody contacting someone for 3 days, it's not going to keep contacting them. Probably delete your contact, especially if you were like a one-night stand. Who cares? Bye. Yeah. But I'd mark the date that I unblocked them, and then no less than 30 to 60 days later, I'd reach out again for a smash. Works every time. Yeah. Toxic.
All right. Lee says, I do too. I love poetry. I was at a book of anthropology of young Americans in 1994. That's still right. She meant TikTok, Facebook, stuff like that.
Oh, well, I don't have any of my poetry live. The only one that was that one guardrail poem. And that I only read mine because the person that I brought on the Survivor episode with me read a really touching poem. And I was just like, he got real vulnerable. And I'm like, I can't leave him hanging there. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck it. We get vulnerable in this bitch. And I read mine, It was uncomfortable, but, I thought everybody liked that you could read it forward or backward and it meant the same thing. So I guess that means, like, I'm a cool poet or whatever. Like, I like skills or whatever. I do have TikTok. I do have YouTube. Honestly, you could get all of my links at Kanooble.com. It's the one-stop shop. Yeah, Kanooble. You get Google me, bitch. Literally, you can.
Motherfucker. Yeah.
You really can. I made sure of that shit.
Yeah.
I don't play, man. When I said you're going to see me fucking everywhere within the next 10 years, I meant that shit, including topless on somebody's yacht. I'm not fucking playing. It's funny because my mom, oh my God, I have to tell you this. So I just saw my family for the first time since July. I had a big falling out with them after my attempt last year. And, things happen. It takes a while for people to kind of mend it. So I saw them for the first time and I'm in my head like, this is going to be bad, but it wasn't. It was great, and my mom turns around. She's like, I saw that shirt unzip video you put on Instagram. And I was like, yeah. She's like, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't like that. I was like, a lot of people did. Like, a lot of people did. And then she was like, I was telling her like what I have going on. And she's like, oh, you have merch now. I was like, yeah. And she was like, when am I going to get a shirt? I was like,
when you buy one.
Which one do you want? Honorary homie or be a hoe and make me proud? And she was just like, seriously? I was like, I'll make you a Kanooble one. That's why I didn't tell my family about merch. They're not going to wear that. You know what I mean? My family is very not okay with the shit I talk about sometimes. But you know what? That's okay.
They don't have to.
They don't. Exactly. They're entitled to their wrong opinion. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, you're not right. Everybody's got an asshole like an opinion, dude.
I am literally in my 30s. I am going to talk about whatever I want, whether it's on the air, in front of whoever. The only person that is an exception to is my grandfather. Period. Yeah. You don't need to know none of that. You don't know about my podcast. You don't know about none of that. He knows I do comedy because he's the reason I'm in comedy. He is very inappropriate. Let me explain something to you. My grandfather, for example, in 2008, I was still in high school. I think it was like 11th grade. I was maybe 15 or 16. Oh, thank you. He literally, we pull up to a yard sale. Yard sales and antique shops, like that's our jam, okay? Yeah. Yeah, if it's free, it's for me, and I love a bargain. And I just love yard sales because you never know what you can find. But we'd always go to flea markets and stuff. And my cousins live in the Poconos in PA. Mm-hmm. And we went up there because she was getting married. And we're driving by and we see a yard sale. So we pull over, we get out of the car. He immediately walks up to the little old lady sitting there and goes, do you have any crack pipes? Mine just broke on the way here. And I was like, I probably looked at him because I was like literally 15. I'm like, first of all, I didn't know what a crack pipe was. Yeah. But I knew my mom was upset, which meant it was something drug related, because she's like, really, Dad? Really? But that's the kind of person he is. He'll tell stories about farting in a nun's face while he was climbing up a ladder to the school to fix a roof. Like his first joke to me was, why did the receptionist at the sperm bank get fired?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Drinking on the job.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like 10. You know, he still tells me that joke to this day. But that's the kind of humor that he has. So I don't tell him about Hoe on the Go, but I tell him about my comedy, you know, and it was funny because I did a show. One of my first, like, to me, big shows was in Atlantic City. And it was one of the first real shows that I'd gotten booked for. And it was only for a few minutes. But I see all these, like, divorcees in the crowd. It was a bunch of like mid-20 something. They're like, we just got divorced. I'm like, y'all got married? Like that's the kind of situation it was. And I was there with a friend of mine. They had these frozen drinks. It was on like Donkey Kong. I was a little tipsy, and maybe 30 seconds to a minute before I go on stage, I turn around and look, and my mom, my grandfather, my sister, and my stepdad walk in. I'm like, because I had all these dick jokes ready, like all of the dick jokes. I'm talking about, like, I had the committed relationship with my vibrator, like everything was written out and ready to go. And I just was literally like, and they let me talk for like 18 minutes. I wish I had that footage because to me, I bombed. People were laughing. I'm hilarious no matter what. But in my head, I'm like, that was bad, you know? So I've always wanted to see that footage since, but there is none. So damn, you win some, you lose some. And I'm usually a motherfucker that don't miss since I stopped drinking. Because there were a few times when I was getting really drunk, you know, when I would go out. Because I'm a whiskey girl. I drink straight whiskey. And I was very mentally ill. So, you know, I was just drinking every time. I have videos of me talking to myself in the bathroom before I went on stage to remember what I had to say. And I've kept them because I laughed hysterically every time. It's bad. I'll never post them. That's not the kind of content I'll post to laugh at. But, you know, yeah, they're hilarious because I'm like, like I make no sense. And I'm like, why did they give me a microphone? Especially if it's an open mic. I'm like, why are you giving me a microphone? I'm clearly wasted. Just let me have my night, you know?
I'm clearly fucked.
Yeah, but clearly you got to learn. You have to learn not to get too drunk, whether it's an open mic or a show. So I know why they did.
Yeah.
The person who runs that comedy show happens to be a very good friend of mine. And that's the person who usually keeps it 100 with me. You know, that person is the one person who will be like, who the fuck are you talking to? And I'll be like, excuse me? Because nobody talks to me like that. You know, and I'm like, damn. Damn. Like, I'm not like turned on, but like, I respect you and whatever. Ew. Me too, just to see what my face looked like doing said quote. Yeah, it's bad because I do a lot of obviously talking in the mirror. I do a lot of public speaking in general. I always have. Just because I've always been the speaker for the family. Because I don't give a fuck what people think about me, and most of my family does. And I'm just like, don't care. You know, I used to, my older sisters, because I have 2 older sisters, were each 15 months apart. And then I had 3 younger sisters, but 2 have passed, so I have 1 little sister left. But my 2 older sisters are my full blood sisters. We all grew up together. So she, they used to bring their boyfriends over, is what I'm getting at. Because they were like 14 and 15. I was like 12 and 13 at that time. I gave no fucks about boys at all. So what I would do to make them uncomfortable, because they would bring these boys over when mom was at work, was I would tie a towel around my neck and run butt-ass naked through the house. All the time. I'm pretty sure I did the Naruto run, too. Like, you know? I've never given a fuck. Like, I'd probably still do that to this day, but I have a son now.
Okay, Lee asks, how long have you been clean, or what's your longest clean time?
I would say, does that include alcohol?
Well, whatever clean looks like for you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to include alcohol in that because when I was drinking very heavily, it was every single day. It was a problem. But now it's like maybe once every 3 months, 2 months. Yeah. It's like 2 shots. I don't think that really counts. So some people find that really offensive when I say that. But guess what? Your journey's not the same as mine. So from everything else, April of last year.
Yeah.
So.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. It's tough. I mean, like, it depends on what it is. You know, like weed, that was tough for me because I smoked for many, 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 many years, you know? Yeah. But I noticed when I wasn't smoking anymore, my thought process was like, wow, I'm actually not stupid. Like, I actually have a lot of thoughts up in here. Like, whoa. Especially when I was rewriting my Hoe Handbook. I was at work one day, sitting at a desk, and I brought up a rhyming thing, like a rhyming page, and I would just type a word in, and I would look at all the rhymes because for my book, the headers to certain chapters, they're all rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them, yeah, were already done, but they weren't like rhyming the way that I wanted them to. And I just sat there, and literally wrote like 3 pages worth of rhymes for headers.
Wow.
Yeah. And some of them I still use. Like, if I can't ride it on my feet, I don't want to see your meat. That came out of that day. Congratulations. Especially heroin. I lost my uncle to heroin. He had a lifelong battle. That is very difficult. So you should be really proud of yourself.
Lee, I'm super proud of you.
Yes. And there's nothing wrong with having a drink as long as you're not drinking to escape from something, unless it's your children,
Yes.
in which case just limit it to 2 glasses of wine. You're fine. But I mean, using it, if you're going out with the intentions of getting blackout wasted, then you probably should not be drinking.
Yeah.
That's all.
Very true.
If you're going out and you're like, yeah, I'm going out with my friends and we're going to have a drink, because it's never a drink, and that's fine. But you're not going out like, I'm getting blackout wasted tonight. No, you don't have that mindset going out, Thank you. No, only dinners on the town. And that is fun too. I just said that too. Being in the broke community as I am, I was talking about free stuff that you can do with your friends, like going on hikes. And, for me, it's a little bit difficult because all of my friends are smokers. So it's not that, no, absolutely not. Only one drink. And that's okay too. That's your limit to yourself, and you respect your boundaries, and that's what you got to do. So for me, it's two.
Yeah, I know. I can't go out. I can't have one. I know that's my thing. I can't have one because one's going to lead to 3. Going to lead to. I'm getting fucked up. I mean, you've seen my piece of shit dad videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad's drinking and all of them.
About him, by the way, but
he's not a piece of shit. Actually, I'll tell
I
you.
know, but I just hate the wording. Wording is everything.
Okay, so the reason why that came about is because my dad was like listening to me do a TikTok, and he was like, "What was that?" And I told him, and he was like, "Dude, we should do something as a mimic to how it used to be when you were younger, like making fun of the way that I used to be toward you when I was younger, or when I was younger." And I was like, "Explain." He's like, "I'm not a piece of shit now." He's like, "But I used to be, and maybe this will be a way for us to heal together from that through comedy." And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. Why not? Let's run."
Comedy is a great way to heal from trauma. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. And so we started making these. They're 100% his idea, and I'm just rolling with it.
And that's fair. For me, I agree with that because, for example, why I say that is because I found if you can laugh at something that should devastate you, it has no power over you. That's
Absolutely.
it. Found that my greatest writings came from the darkest, deepest times I was in addiction. Those were my greatest writing moments. Weird. It's funny that you say that because I was very heavily on cocaine for a very long time after my sister passed away. And I mean, to a point where I gave myself a heart attack the week before I tried to kill myself at 30. So I have recordings still on my other cell phone where me and one of my friends literally were up on an all-night bender, and I rhymed words for 5 hours straight on a recording. Why? No clue.
Yeah.
Supporting recovery is great. Mm-hmm.
Andrew says supporting all forms of recovery is great. Most people are it's either this way or that way when it's an individual journey. Absolutely right. By the way, Andrew and Lee are a couple. I think they got married.
There's their profile. So
yeah,
I mean, I'm not like Sherlock Holmes, but I kind of put those pieces together right there, and they fit. So I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, they fit.
I don't think you realized that, did you?
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get into something that we talked about prior to this.
Sure.
So, real quick, Andrew said, "I'm chasing her down to get married." Hell yeah!
You better keep chasing her after you marry her too.
Yeah. So we're gonna go into a little game here, and it's gonna be just a shotgun off the head. It's going to be rate a celebrity and what you think like they would be in bed. Okay.
I'm so good at this.
Yes.
I'm
So
so good at this.
first off, we're going to shoot off the hip. We're going to go with Tom Hardy.
Go to Tom Hardy. I have to look at his face, and I don't remember his face. So let me look at his face. Go to the next one.
Okay, George
Because
Clooney.
I think you told me him earlier, but I didn't think to Google him.
Okay.
What is he from?
He was Bane in Batman. He was also in.
I can't think. I go by faces. So
Okay. Have you seen Warrior, the UFC movie? Okay. Fuck.
Hold on. I'm gonna Google him. It's okay.
Yes. Tom Hardy. Lee says, "Smash Tom Hardy."
Smash, but his dick game's trash.
Lawless. You think so?
Trash. Stamina wise, fantastic. But he looks like he either A, has a little dick, or it's really thin, pencil dick.
Okay. All right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I read people.
Yeah.
I could be totally wrong. That dude could have like a fucking 12-inch dong. I have no idea.
He was really famous in Lawless. Hey. Yeah. Lawless.
He looks like he's probably got some great head game, though.
He probably does. All right. Next one. We're going to go George Clooney.
George Clooney is basic in bed. I'm going to tell you that. I think his legend precedes him. He could be a womanizer, but that comes with the name.
Yeah.
Whether or not he was good or not, has anybody confirmed that? No. I think he's probably like vanilla, like he'll missionary looking you in your eyes. You might get doggy style out of him, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
But there's going to be no shower play, none of that.
Right. Like he's not going to do the kinky shit, you know? He's not going to do that.
Horizontal all the way.
Exactly. You know? You're not going to be able to stick a finger in his ass. He's not into that, you know? That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, you know, he's gonna be that kind of guy that, you know, you go to reach for his junk and he's like, no, the kids are awake.
No, I don't think he's like that. I just think like he could still be very good at what he does. He's just very vanilla, I think. You know?
Oh, Andrew thinks he's masochist.
I don't have an opinion on that. I don't know him well enough, so I, can't say anything to that. But
and Lee says vanilla.
Very vanilla. Vanilla, probably with rainbow jimmies instead of chocolate.
Okay. All right. Next one. We are going to go with Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson. Now, I'm going to try to negate what I've heard. Okay.
Yeah.
Negating what I've heard, that motherfucker has never missed. He bags baddies. So,
yeah, he does.
Either A, very compassionate and sympathetic, which is what emotionally driven women want, or that dude has dick game out the wazoo. So that dude looks like he eats ass. Like that dude's probably really good in bed. I'm gonna go ahead and say he's really good in bed.
I don't understand what the craze is about him. Like completely. I don't understand. He's a what?
He's a borderline, like me.
Yeah.
A borderline and a comedian, which means he's gonna make you smile and he can manipulate the fuck out of you. We could sell a man our own balls. I could sell a man his own balls. Pete Davidson could probably do the same. It's a borderline thing.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Yeah, you're right. All right. We're going to go on the next one, but it's not going to be somebody that I gave you the name to. It's going to be another one.
Is it female or male? Because I am ambidextrous, you know.
Okay. All right. We'll go with he's funny and he sacks a lot of girls. Yeah, he does.
He sacks a lot of bitches, yo. He really does not miss. Like, except for he did do Kim Kardashian, right?
Yeah.
That's a miss. I'm a Capricorn. I got hella charisma. I'm not gonna get into zodiacs, but just know, like, my sister's a Capricorn, and y'all could be a little bit of like talking to a brick wall. So,
all right, we're gonna go with Harry Styles.
Ew. That dude. See, he gives me vanilla vibes too. Like, just he's very like romantic and like he probably puts on Savage Garden and have sex and like candles.
Savage Garden and has sex.
I wanna stay with you. And he goes with like the candles are lit, you know, and you're just like, bro, we got 30 minutes until we got to go to bed because we both got work in the morning. Like, what are you doing? And then he spends those 30 minutes like petting you. He looks like a heavy petter. That's what he looks
Ooh,
like. A
that's
petter.
creeper
I
status.
hate that. It's not. Some people really need that affection, and that's
Yeah.
fine. For me, like, I will fucking vomit. Like, I will literally vomit. Please don't. Like, don't pet me. Don't, like, coddle me. Like, dude, if you don't fucking try to choke me until I die right now, I will burn this house to the ground. Like, I swear to God, I'll burn it to the ground, and I'm leaving. I have literally left, by the way, as a side note, in the middle of having fun. Because I was not having fun. And I'm not about to stay anywhere I'm not having a good time. I'm out. And I've told him as such. I didn't say, like, you're trash. I was just like, you know what? Not for me. I'm out. I got to go. Look at the time. Whoops. Not even wearing a watch. Like, I'm out. Like, I'm leaving.
Okay. We'll get into that. We're done with that part of the game, all right?
Oh, and I didn't get to give you any.
Oh, go ahead. Shoot me some.
Yeah, you tried to play me. I got a couple for you, too.
All right.
All right.
Let's do it.
Emma Watson.
Ooh, Emma Watson, dude.
In the bedroom.
Oh, my God. Okay, so I feel like Emma Watson... I feel like she's a dirty bitch.
Right? I thought
like a dirty like
on the low. She eats
like
it.
I bet she does. Double dip it. She's an ass to mouth kind of girl.
Oh no.
I bet she's an ass to mouth kind of girl. You never go ass to mouth, but she's an ass to mouth kind of girl.
No, I don't think she's that dirty, but you know, like I think she'd be fucking around. She kinky as fuck, is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about Mariah Carey?
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I bet she glamorizes herself while she's fucking him, right? I think she tries to be nasty, but she ain't. She like tries to she'll put on All I Want for Christmas Is You while you're fucking, just so she can hear her own voice.
Facts. All right. Madonna. Last one. Madonna.
Oh.
No, I got one more, but after this. Madonna.
I bet she's just like on a whole new level of nasty that like is not okay. Like I'll even venture to say she's into some Shizer shit.
You know, I could definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, say that woman eats ass.
I bet she does, and I
get the ass eting vibes from her.
I would even go
I
would go as far as to say that she likes to either be peed on or pee on people.
Nah, I don't think that. I think just because of the style of men that she dates, usually when you see an older woman with younger men like that, because they eat ass, so or they have money, or both.
Yeah,
he happens to have both.
Yeah, I don't think that she likes her face being touched much, so there's not much in the face.
Relatable. I had a guy once, side note, hit my face while we were in the moment, and I literally cold cocked him. He flew off top of me. That's how hard I popped him right the fuck. And you know how hard you gotta hit somebody to be laying down and fucking cold cock them off of you? Like, yeah. I knocked the fuck out that guy. He just was like confused. I was like, well, my bad. Because it was like a reaction, you know? I don't like, if somebody slaps me in my face or spits in my face, that's the biggest form of disrespect for me. Do not spit. When I see people spit into each other's mouths, I'm like, who fucking raised y'all?
That is disgusting.
Did he even brush his teeth? Did you check? Like, his tongue was in her butthole. Things I yell at like, I'll be sitting here watching porn, right? And I'll be yelling this shit at my phone because I watch this shit for pure entertainment at this point. Like, I have a screenshot. I'll have to send it to you personally because I was like, what the fuck is going on at Pornhub? Because it was like this girl is like bent over the stove cooking, right? And this guy's got his legs up on either of the cabinets. He's like literally hovering in the air, fucking her in the still. And I'm like,
what's up, Dumbledore?
Right? I was like, gravity? Where you at? What happened?
That man has killer quads, doesn't he?
He must have. I didn't look that closely. I just screenshot it. I was like, there's something funny here. I know it. But can I post it online without violating community standards? No. So I got to figure out a way to do it. So, which is why I'm just sitting in my drafts with a million other pictures that have no context. But I know the context because the joke is. So I also, like, for example, I'll watch it and you like fast forward something and then they're like eating ass. It's only been 13 seconds. You're like, whoa. She just got home from school. What happened? Where did they ask you to come into play? Clearly, I missed a core part of the story because it was like she took off her school bag and now there's ass eating. It's like, what happened? So I rewind that shit and I'm like, what happened in the last 13 seconds? I gotta find out.
Porn has gotten so weird nowadays. Like old girl getting stuck in the couch. Bitch, all you gotta do is lower your body and pull.
Let's talk about step in general. Everybody's a step. Now you can have a step cousin, a step uncle, a step like there's step everything. Step neighbor. Like literally, I'm like, can we just say relative if you're gonna do that kind of genre? Like, and that's weird to begin with. Why are we sexualizing that?
That's weird.
People are fucking weird. Like, I don't have a brother, but if I did, I 100% wouldn't want to fuck him.
Right.
Never.
And that and then like let's talk about like, I don't know, like the fucking the dude who comes to check your pipes under the sink, and he's under there, right? And he's working on it. And then old girl just like hops on tops and starts going to town. Like, the dude's married. Like, that's
but that's for like housewives. It's just a fantasy thing. That plays into a fantasy. That I understand. It's like the family thing. I don't understand it. Or like the therapist where it's like, you went to therapy, look at this twisted therapist. Like, if my therapist tried to fuck me, we'd have a problem. Okay? Right. Like, I'm mentally ill, sir. Ew.
The teacher and the student thing, like, that's weird.
I think that's another fantasy thing, but like, I can't get behind the medical professional thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a teacher, like, okay, we've all heard stories, people fucking their teachers. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense that they'd make something. Yeah. But I never heard of a doctor fucking somebody like that. Or a therapist. Like, leave therapy alone, people. We're trying to get people to go to therapy, okay?
Oh, you're laying on the gurney, you've got a boner? Oh, no. Oh, what are we going to do to fix this? Nothing, dude. Flick it and get going.
What's another one? So my favorite category, and I have a group with a couple people on Instagram called Porn Bloopers. A couple of my slut besties. Well, we call them slut besties. I'm a hoe, but we literally go through the funny category on porn websites and send each other videos. Like, there was one where this woman, he like hypnotized her, and then she was like acting like a chicken. So she's like, but she's like butt ass naked. Hilarious. Fucking hilarious. There was another one where a chick was giving a rim job and he farted in her face and she flipped the fuck out.
I think I've seen that one.
Yup. There's another one where the guy's giving the money shot and he misses and hits the camera guy and he's like, ah! And he like freaks out. It's like, bro, you know what you signed up for? You work here. Look at the job description. You
set yourself up for failure, my friend.
Right.
You got set up to get cummed on, okay?
Right. You wanted to be at the close-up camera view. It's on you.
Yeah.
Like the Zack and Miri section where he's like, she frosted me like a fucking cake. Exactly the same. I love that movie. That is like one of my top movies. That and Euro Trip are like,
oh yes,
top tier.
I was just talking about Euro Trip the other day.
Yep. I love it.
Me scusi.
Me scusi.
Me scusi. And like homie's like half naked, like with his leg cocked up.
You go through the tunnel. You made out with your sister.
You fucked your sister.
I think the best part, because it took me by surprise, and I was like younger when I saw this, not like young, but young enough, is the nude beach scene.
No.
I was not expecting to see Ding-a-ling. I was not expecting to see little Ding-a-ling, old man Ding-a-ling. I was not ready.
Movies.
Love that movie, man. There's so many gems in that movie that people just did not even get. Like the kid doing the Hitler March. Hilarious. Yeah. Dude, would not age well, would not go well now. Like the Onion movie. You have to shit in the Onion movie, and that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Would not go well. Would not go well now. But some of it will, like Cock Puncher, that shit was hilarious. You know, Suicide Bomber, that shit was so hilarious. I'm sorry. I don't care if it makes me insensitive. That shit was hilarious. So,
okay. The last one. Who do you got for the last one?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Adele. No. Miley Cyrus. I feel like this should be an easy one, but it's not.
I mean, you are... she's a freak. I feel like she's a thoroughbred freak. Like, she's gonna fucking control a man. Man's not gonna control her.
I feel like it's a hit or miss with her, though. Because I feel like that bitch got multiple personalities, okay? And it's not just the Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana thing. I think it's like she literally, if you listen to her music and the different albums and the different styles and the way that she presents herself in each one, it is literally like a different character to a storyline.
Yeah.
So it's not who she is, but the real music that comes from her is very, soulful, very, So I think she's like kind of a romantic on the low, but she might
Well,
be
I
a
mean,
little bit of a freak. I could see
it
that.
could be depending on the era of Miley Cyrus we're talking about, right? So like, are we
Or like
talking
the
three
drug era.
six?
The
Are we
drug era.
talking? Are we talking 3-6? You can find me in the club. Are we talking about that one, or are we talking
No, we
about the
don't
new
talk about
one?
that one. That's the
That
pole
one.
dancing era. We don't talk about that one.
Okay. All right. So that one's out. Are we talking about the modern, like Miley Cyrus, where she's like trying to be Joan Jett, but she's not? She's missing the mark.
I don't think she's trying to be Joan Jett.
Okay.
You read about the history behind that song, right? And the video that
Mm-hmm.
she did and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
the house that she shot that video in was the one he was cheating on her in. The suit that she
Mm-hmm.
wore was the one into an interview where he told her she needed to fucking behave. You know what I'm saying? Like there was just messages behind this. I don't think she was trying
Yeah.
to channel Joan Jett. It was really just a giant fuck you to her ex. And honestly,
Well,
I appreciate that. I always appreciate being petty and vindictive. So
no, I can appreciate that too. No, what I mean is like her music now is she's now touring with a rock band, like full fledged rock band. She's 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 doing covers of like Guns N' Roses and all this other stuff. That's
she's
what I'm.
always done covers. So cover songs.
I guess
Yeah.
I never really paid attention to her.
Yeah, like one of the songs that I like from her is a cover that she did. Yeah. One of the covers that she did was a Dolly Parton song,
Yep.
Jolene. She
Yep.
nailed that shit. Honestly, sometimes when she really tries to sing, she actually has talent. And I actually like the singing style that I don't really like her music. Like, let's start there. But that Flower song,
Yeah.
because you can hear the giant fuck you in it, I can
Yeah.
feel this. I can feel that hate, like feels the hate, you know?
Yeah.
I felt that shit. That shit was like the force reaching out through my headphones. I'm like, oh shit, she is
Yeah.
Earth, baby. Did you
That
call
was-
the therapist? Like,
It's like the ice dagger to the heart.
really? Because
Yeah.
I was like, because I mean, in all of my previous relationships, I've been cheated on. Fun fact. And it wasn't because of anything I did. Obviously, hello, throat goat. But I realized it was because I was emotionally distant. You know, and for her, it's just because she was clearly not ready to be settled down, but was trying to settle down for the partner that she was with. Look at her, she's a wild child. She needs either a wild child with her to ride it out until they both hit their maturity and then they find their actual partners, or she needs to get with somebody who can tame a wild child or be patient enough to deal with it and let her be her at the same time. That's what she needs. And that was not it. That was not him.
No, we all need that one person in our life that's going to tame us down and bring us to where we need to be.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
you know what? If I got to give her some credit, because I don't care if I'm on a red carpet or not, because that's what I've been on red carpets. If somebody ever told me to behave my fucking self on a red carpet, they'd get the shit slapped out of them on a red carpet. Because guess what? Everybody could read what he said from his lips.
Yep.
And they'd be reading it from the red mark as well, what my response was. Okay? Like, not the one. That's
Absolutely.
embarrassing. Like, why would you ever humiliate your partner like that? Doesn't matter what she's doing. Look at who she is, you know? Read the room, buddy.
Right. Absolutely. All right. So before we go, I'm gonna give you the floor for a final thought. All right.
Sure. Yeah. So, final thought. Again, I am not a hoe or some hoe. I'm the hoe on the go. My name is CA Kanooble. I had a lot of fun here today. I love talking to Sean. He's really great. So make sure you tune into more of these. I'll be creeping in the comments, throwing little jabs in because that's what I do. But if you take anything away from here, it's that you should Google me, bitch. And also that men are logical and women are emotional. Like, that's something I really hope you take home with you. Go sit down, write it on a piece of paper, really fucking look at it, and then look at the last argument you have and go. And then you know where you fucked up. So, and that doesn't mean fucked up as in like ruined your whole relationship. It just means fucked up as in you could do better, because we can all do better. Except for me, I'm a hard 10 out of 10. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
And thank you, CA, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with me for this little bit. And that is our show. Yeah, I did too. I had a blast. So that's our show for tonight, y'all. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a blast. Have a good night, y'all. Be good.
Be a hoe.